My name is Ed Flegal. I'm the blacksmith here at Heritage Park. Today I'm going to demonstrate how we can take a small piece of iron and turn it into a piece of ornamental iron. And the process that involved is heating this piece of metal up to 1800 degrees and then start hammering it out into an ornamental piece. One thing we learn in the blacksmith shop, however, is patience. We are continually going back to the fire after a few seconds of hammering on a piece of metal and having to reheat it. And so this goes on time and time again, and so patience is a very important product in working in the blacksmith shop. Now I'm going to go over to the forge. I'll put the metal in the fire and start working with the bellows and to heat the metal up to a workable temperature. Okay, now I take the tongs, place the metal in the fire, and it'll take just a few moments for that to heat up to 1800 degrees. Okay, we've got temperatures up to where we can work with the metal now. We're going to bring it over here to the anvil and just gently tap this, turning it a quarter turn back and forth. Now you can see that the metal is starting to cool off, and so we now go back to the fire and reheat it. Every few seconds we drop back to the fire. Now as the thick metal becomes thinner, it cools off more rapidly, and so we have to go back to the fire. Now as I hammer, I'm not just hitting straight down, I'm pushing the metal in the direction I want it to flow. Right now I'm texturing the leaf so that it looks like it has veins. Okay. Now we'll take this and reduce that thick base metal here. We'll draw it out so that it looks similar to a stem of a leaf. But before we do that, we have to cut it off. And I use a hot cut, which means I've got to go back to the fire and heat it up so that we can cut it off. At this point we just wire it off, chill down the unusable metal. Now we have a leaf that has a grody end on the end of it, so we'll put that in the fire and draw it out and make it long and narrow. And this is the same process we use for making blacksmith nails. So back into the fire. Stand back just a little bit in case we get some hard sparks. Now you can see it started to grow out. We'll heat it up 2 or 3 more times and lengthen that out to about 2.5 inches.
Oh, see, it's making shoes. You have to smash it in the top.
Okay, now we have basically a red hot poker. In Mother Nature there are no straight items except if you shear a crystal, then you have a straight line, but animal matter and vegetable matter all have graceful curves into it. So we'll take this piece of metal, we'll put it back into the fire and create some shapely curves into it. Now I've got a little eyelet there. We'll take it a little further than that now. We don't want to collapse that eyelet. It's going to be red hot, so first off when we bring it out here we have to chill it real quick and then come back to the anvil and we'll bend everything in the opposite direction. Like that. Now the leaf itself is quite plain and flat, and so we'll put it back in the fire and give it just a little bit of sculpture as well. Now if I want to put a patina on here to protect it from rusting, a typical early pioneer blacksmith would have taken a red hot piece of iron and put it into manure, and it will cause a carbon patina. But here we don't have any manure handy, so we're using dirty engine oil, and it'll do the same thing. Now rather than a dull finish, now we have a bright finish that repels water. Thank you.